put a little. How old were you there?
Well, that's before I went to the army.
You would have been about
18.
18. Were you working that day?
This was down at Brant, Alberta, where I was working for Maxine Uncle Percy. I left back in, it was 1942, yeah. 1942. Well,
What are those pots? What kind of work were you doing there?
I was doing his farm work for him. He has at least it was the old Green family ranch, as they used to be. They had, I don't know how much land there originally. There was still a section there on the old ranch site, property where Grandma Green lived. And Maxine was going to school in Brant at that time, high school, and this was in the spring, I guess, when we came here, when I got there, or arrived. Percy lived in High River, Uncle Percy Doherty. He and his wife.
Who? I don't know who they were. Percy?
Doherty. His wife was one of the Green family, the daughter of the Mrs. of the Greens.
Mm-hmm. Well, who's this Bert?
Bert was another guy that came along and helped do some of the farm work. Bert Doris.
So he's no relation family-wise?
No.
So at that time you weren't any relation either?
No.
You were just a farm worker there?
Just working, yeah. I don't know. I just decided with my neighbor, a young fellow from my neighbor there, he was my age, and he says, "Oh, we should go out and see if we can find a job, get away from. You never get away from the home district or the home district. You know, you get to the city once and twice a year, but that's about it. But we'd like to just go out and see some more of the world."
I see.
Went by train down to Calgary, and train fare was reasonable in those days, of course. Hung around there for a few days and didn't, or not too long, and seemed to find anything, and I somehow ended up in, for some reason we got as far as Medicine Hat. I just don't know what who was, and then Medicine Hat didn't look too good, and we decided we were going to catch a freight train to Calgary. Well, there's lots of freight trains coming in. Well, I went to catch it, and it was moving a little too fast, and I got tossed aside. And God, I said, "That's not for me."
Really? Yeah.
You could get your legs cut off or something. And,
right. Wasn't as easy as it looked.
No. Because there's lots of people riding in freight trains in those days. You know, actually, the war was on then, 42, yes. But before that, back in the late 30s or even early 40s, the first things were starting to get different. There weren't as many people. A lot of people then had joined the army. I guess they get a steady paycheck every month that way at least, and those seemed to be the.
It was still hard times.
Oh yeah.
Dirty 30s. Yeah.
But this was a little bit better, actually. I think Uncle Percy was, I call him Uncle Percy, he was Maxine's uncle. He paid $50 a month the days we were doing the farm work. Of course, then we had
room and board.
We had our room and board.
$50 a month, that's not too bad.
It wasn't that in those days, no.
And you worked, what, 5, 6 days a week or 7 days a week?
Or whatever it took to do the farm work.
Wasn't it kind of seasonal though? It would be like harvest work and then planting in the spring, but winter wouldn't be.
Well, I wasn't there for the winter. I was just
No.
there for the spring, and I got we were doing harvesting when I got called up to go and join the army or whatever it was.
Was that conscription? You were called by conscription?
No, it wasn't conscription, but you were due for a call up. You had to go and you were registered. We had to register when we were about 15 or something like that. And
Right.
time you turned 19, well then they call you up to say you're to come in for
Medical and.
for all your medical. And if you were fit, well then you'd be join whatever service you would be qualified for, rather, and
Right.
or if they needed people for that particular service. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the army seemed to be the only one. I thought I'd like to get in the Navy, but no, they're not recruiting for the Navy. They didn't need any reinforcements. At that time, I was like a reinforcement. I wasn't joining any particular unit.
Mm-hmm.
So if it had joined whatever force I'd have gone into, Air Force or whatever, you would have just been sent to wherever they needed you, which happened in the Army too.
Was it more frightening or exciting to prospects of going to war? That must have been quite a. Gee.
No, it didn't. It seemed to never worried me too much, but you know,
when
you always thought about it.
When you're 18, you're invincible, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been. I don't think I would have wanted to go to war. So you actually went when you were 18 to war?
No,
So was
19.
19.
Yeah.
And how long were you overseas? Was 3, 4 years?
I went over in the fall of 42, and December 42 I got sent over to England. And then sometime after in 43, or was it, let's see, 42, getting confused. No, it was the fall of 43, I guess I got sent over to England.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was in basic training there was a training camp at Camrose, which isn't too far from
From home place, yeah.
place. And we're just about through basic training. I guess I don't know what the basic training period was. Was it 2 months or 3 months? We were just about finished with it, and then I came down with scarlet fever.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah. Well, that was one of those things that happened in every spring. People would get it. I guess somebody got it, and it got spread around.
It was spread, contagious, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I remember we were on this route march. It was a 5-mile march or something. 5 miles out and 5 miles back or something. God, I was feeling tired and weary. I could hardly drag myself to get back. It wasn't too bad when I went out, as far as I remember, but coming back, gosh, I was just beat. So next morning I went to the sick parade, as they call it, to see the doctor, and he took one look at me, and he said, "Oh gosh," he said, "you look like the rising sun." He says, "It's just red, I guess."
Really? Oh, that's how they diagnosed it.
Yeah.
You look red, huh?
Oh yeah, it turns you red. Scarlet fever, that's where
why it's called,
the
yeah.
name comes from, I
Oh.
guess. So I was in the military hospital they had on the base, and for whatever it is, 10 days or something, and then I got sent home for a leave after that, and I was the same night before I got home, and the same night I was home, God, I got home with a terrible gut ache. I thought, what's going on here? I couldn't sleep or anything. I got up, and next morning got back to Camrose and went to see the doctor then. They sent me right, well, where the military base was just across the road from, used to be the old normal school, just across the road from the hospital in Camrose. So they sent me to, I guess they diagnosed that it was appendicitis. So I had to have appendicitis operation.
Were they burst or?
No,
But,
no, they just operated to
wow.
take it out.
So then you were,
Then I had another leave and off for a month or something, I guess, and before I got back to basic training and finished my basic training, and then I got shipped to Calgary for the summer, fall, I guess. Didn't leave Calgary until December sometime. I think we landed in England or Liverpool on December 10th, if I'm not mistaken.
1942 or 43?
43.
So you went by boat
Yeah, it's all by boat in those days.
from Halifax? Or?
Halifax, yeah.
Yeah.
Travel by train on troop train to Halifax, of course.
Yeah. So the guys you were originally in basic training with, they went on ahead because of your...
Well, they would have gone to wherever they got sent to, yeah, different camps.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
But they were in the war ahead of you.
Well, yeah, whatever, they were likely gone as recruits somewhere else too.
Yeah. So just...
Not recruits, but as, well, not.
But I'm just thinking those little incidents may have saved your life from being in a battle that was unwinnable.
Yeah, it could have been. You never know where you would have been. But
yeah. Right. So how long were you in London then, before you, or England?
Aldershot.
Aldershot, was it?
Yeah, it was the old British Army camp. Well, we landed in, I remember that well. I landed at Naples on the 1st of March of 44, I guess, yeah. 1st of March, 44.
Landed where?
At Naples.
Naples, okay, 1st of March, 1944. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you went into action right after that.
Well, no, not right after that. We were in a reinforcement depot, as they call it, for some time, and I still didn't. I had no idea where I'd be sent or where I'd go to, and I thought I'd be going to the. I think that when I joined up or somewhere down the line, they'd ask you what regiment you'd like to be in. I said, well, I'd go to the 49th Loyal Edmonton Regiment, because it's Alberta, that's where I was from, I thought.
Yeah.
And then when we got sent out, it was the PPCLI, Princess Patricia's.
Mm-hmm.
It was right after the Hitler line. What was the name of that town, the village? They had a big monastery up on the mountain that the Germans used as a lookout. They could see everything for tens of miles around that was moving below there.
This was in Italy.
Italy, yeah.
You said you were in the Po Valley, so.
Well, that was late. That's where I ended up at. Yeah, but that's where it started at. It was right after the Hitler line, the Gustav line. The heck's the name of the casino? Casino was a big monastery up there on the hill, on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the village below that. There was casino.
So you were in action there?
No, we didn't. I got sent up there right after that. It was reinforcement. We were still in that area, and we moved up from there.
Mhm.
but the Germans were moving out by then.
Mhm.
There's a fellow from Hale Stewart from Courtney the corporal that I remember when I joined when I got sent to the regiment of the platoon he was in. I think he said there was like out of a platoon of about I think it's at about 90 guys. There's three companies. No, there's four companies: A, B, C, and D company.
Mhm.
There's about what are they? I forget how many people are in each company, but I think it's somewhere around 90 odd people in the company, and I think there was only 25 left. It's either wounded or killed
Mhm.
from that casino action or Hitler Line action. Hale Stewart was one of the guys that was from Courtney, but I didn't know anything about Courtney at that time really. But and ended up coming to Courtney and found him here and I asked him to be my best man when Maxine and I married.
So this Hale Stewart, I'm sorry, who was he? Or,
He was from the valley here, from Courtney.
yeah, but you met him in
In Italy, yeah.
Oh, I see.
He was in the Peep CLI in the A
Oh,
company.
I see.
He was one of the survivors. He didn't get wounded or
But
injured.
did you know him very well over there? Or
Well, yeah, he was in the company.
you became friends there?
Well, not necessarily friendly. I didn't know anything about Courtney or anything about.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember him as being
Right.
our corporal for in our company.
Oh, he was a senior to you.
Yeah, he'd been with the Princess Pats, I guess maybe from the time they landed in Italy or Sicily.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So then when you came here afterward, you looked him up?
Well, yeah, he was in the Legion and met him there or saw him there. And I didn't join the Legion right away, but I thought, well, I'd check it out and found Hales. Well, I think he had told me, likely talked to him before, and he said he'd been from Courtney, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Well, this picture, it's just remarkable to see how simple people lived with rough clothes and.
Well, we're working on the farm, actually.
Yeah, of course, you're working, yeah.
We didn't, typical farm gear,
Yeah.
riding a tractor all day and pulling the machine, and it was all tractor.
Tractor,
Tractor
steam engine tractor?
No, not steam, no. A John Deere tractors with this. Uncle Percy had a John Deere dealership in High River.
Were they gasoline?
Yeah, they were gasoline, yeah.
Uh-huh. Wow. And so this is where you met Mum
Yeah,
when you're doing this work?
Because she was staying with her grandmother. We were at she did the cooking and cleaning for her grandma.
Grandma Green.
Grandma Green was deaf. She went,
Right.
but she was, I don't know, she must have been in her 80s at that time anyway. She had one of her sons lived with her, what was his name? He was a little bit, he's like some people say, he's a brick short of a load or something.
Right.
But he was a good guy, all right. But I guess he maybe it was, he may have been all right when he was. But the stories I heard that they always took advantage of him. Everybody kid did. They played tricks on him and all that. The other guys when they were younger, you know.
Mm-hmm.
guess he had left the family for quite a number of years and went on his own somewhere and he finally came back to the.
There's Lorna. Let me see. Hi, Lorna. It's you, yeah.